Okay, let's carry on. Now for the landscape materials. That's always the tricky part. Hopefully it's gonna work. So obviously there's nothing in here. It's nice. The reason for that is you just need to go to your project settings, maps and modes, and just make your default startup map stream test file map. I don't care about the, so let's just open up that third person. There we go. Right, let's load all of these guys up again. You'll know how to do that now. You go to your world window, choose levels, select all of your tiles. Will need to be saved. Okay, not sure. Icons. This icon. I don't know why. There's something. I don't know. This is quickly test and see if it still works. I did close and open the editor. Takes a little while to load. Put stat FPS and stat unit on. Right, everything is still getting displayed. So 8x8 kilometer world, tiled world is getting displayed, and the frames is still 120. The draw is pretty high, getting pretty high draw millisecond, which might come back to bite me later. So you could think of lessening the burden somehow, maybe using LOD on the terrain or something like that. Not sure. Because I haven't had to do that yet. I will soon. Right, next, the materials. I'm gonna go to. No, really. I'm just gonna create a new folder here called material. I'm gonna start by giving it a name. Very original. Excuse me. Okay, we're gonna start by. There's a couple of things we need to do here. So let's just do the default, the easy stuff first. Getting the material on the landscape with generating the layer info, and then from there I can start doing the screen fading, because you can see the tiling problems. And I'm going to start with landscape coordinates. There'll be more than one of these here. This particular one, landscape coordinates, will be used for maybe the high tile, the small tile. So let's bring in a landscape layer blend. Okay, and we'll start by adding 3 layers here. My first is grass. The second is going to be sand. Come on. And the third is going to be rock. I think it needs to just stay at LB weight blend. I could be wrong. I think it must be LB weight blend. I think so. We'll quickly see when we start using it. Let's bring in 3 textures. So let's start by, I'm just going to use the starter content. Pretty sure they have grass here somewhere. That's not what I used in the other demo. See if we can find some grass, some ground moss. Here's some grass, in ground grass. So there should be hopefully a texture here that it. There we go. And it's got a normal as well. Cool. Let's bring that in. Let's go for sand. And then let's go for rock. Take this one. We're going to be on 3 texture samples. I would also put these in parameters. And L0. I think that should. Interesting. Okay, then this is going to go into grass. It's going to go into sand. Going to go into rock. And for now, let's just connect it up to the base color. And give it a sec. This is the basic material setup, right? My mapping scale here is 0. I'm not too comfortable with that number there, but let's. So let's go on over to Unreal Engine. You click on, well, to the material landscape. So just click on the landscape, the top level object that it created. Now, if you've re-imported this a few times and had errors or problems, you have to go into your Windows Explorer, whatever you're using for your operating system you're using, or go into your file browser, and you'll have to go to the content folder, wherever your maps are, CPP maps, and you'll have to come in and delete this whole folder here, this height-map folder here. You'll have to delete it. But then once you've done that, to re-import it now, this is what I'm talking about. And then this guy is still going to sit here, so you need to close this up, close Unreal Engine, do that delete from the operating system, reopen it, and these guys will be gone. But then you have to still delete the old landscaper, otherwise you're going to sit with a whole bunch of unused or previous landscape actors, and you're going to have no idea which one is actually the current one being used. So just keep that in mind. Right, let's try and assign this material and see what happens. So step 1 done. And then we need to go into is it paint? Right, now we're here. Interesting that it didn't turn black. Very interesting. Okay. So you go to click on your landscape actor, click on here on the landscape, whatever mode this is, right? The landscape mode for editing. Click on paint, and now it's gonna present you with these 3 layers. It said, oh, I found these 3 layers in your material that you're using, but now there's nothing here, so you need to create layer info. So let's just hit this once. I want a non-weighted blend. I think that is correct. It's a non-weighted blend layer. I think so. And I'm going to put this in the same place where I put my material because it's easier for me to understand. So there goes grass. Now remember, we haven't referenced anything exported yet from. This might crash. I tried it with such a large terrain. Only tried it with this. We haven't told Unreal anything about world creators. Heat map. That'll be the next. Didn't know it was going to be this long. Wow. Be worth just pausing the video here. Because I'm not sure how long this is. With the 6x6, it took around a minute. This is already taking way. I'm not sure if it's going to story. I'm just going to pause the video.